What we do here is go back.
This is Eat and Drink, the mini episode, hosted by Ali Hassan and Marco Timpano. Some mature content and language may come up, so consider yourself warned. Now, get ready for Eat and Drink.
All right, this is a mini episode.
It's us, but in a shorter form.
Yes.
And no food or drink.
And no food or drink, but a lot of complaint.
The mini episode should just be called The Whiny. Anyway, look, maybe these are valid complaints. What happened is Marco doesn't tell me what we're going to talk about.
And sometimes Ali will come up and say, I've got an idea, and he'll tell me about it, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah,
So
I
different
share,
stuff.
you don't share.
No,
Different
that's right.
styles. Exactly. What do you got, bud?
So I'm currently working in an Italian restaurant. I got this job, lovely little Italian place, pizzas and pastas, simple and fun.
Front of house?
Front of house. Front of house, which means I am waitering. I'm not cooking, I'm serving, and
No bartending.
No, not really. There are. I could. In fact, I've been intentionally avoiding making any drinks.
Yeah.
Because I don't want them to see that I have that skill set. Because then I'm going to be asked to do that, and I just don't want to. Okay. Even the coffees, like I see the coffees that my colleagues make, and they're not as good as I would make them. And like, this means if I make a really great coffee here, I'm going to be stuck behind that machine, and I don't want to. All right. So, yes, I'm a bastard, but I digress. So. This really blew my mind. I thought I had seen it all in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Okay. Until I served this woman who asked for a pizza, right? And our pizza's the size of a plate. So what's the size of a plate? Like, is that 12 or 16 inches, let's say?
I was going to say 8 to 10. I don't know how big these plates are.
No, they're plate, like, a personal sized
Yeah.
pizza. Yeah, so I think it's 12. I want to say 12.
Okay,
And then we cut it in 4. So bigger than your sorry, I should clarify. Bigger than your standard plate at home.
Yes.
But pizza size plate for one.
Got it.
All right. We slice it in 4. We use the pizza slicer and we divide it into 4s, right? So she said,
It's cutting edge stuff you're doing here. Okay,
yeah,
great.
right? Like standard. She orders her pizza and she goes, I'd like you to slice it in more slices. I'm like, great, 6 or 8. What would you like? That's easy enough to do, right? She goes, yes, but I also want you to make a circle slice in the middle. I'm like, what? And she's like, I want you to slice it in 8 pieces, and then the center part, I want you to slice a circle in the middle.
So she wants a lot of mini slices in the center and then large slices in the back?
I was like, we can't do that. That makes no sense to me. Like, what are you doing? How
Yeah, what's
are
the
you?
purpose?
Well, I stood there for a minute as if someone, I
Slapped
punched
you with a glove, yeah.
I didn't understand what she possibly could have wanted. So she's like, I'm like, I don't think we can do that. That's going to ruin your pizza. Like, you're going to have a mush of center cut. Like,
Yeah.
so they've done it for me before. And I was like, why did we ever entertain this woman to get what the hell she wants when it goes against everything I believe you should be able to do?
Yeah.
So I just want to put that out there, that I don't think you can reasonably go to a restaurant and dictate some idiosyncrasy or some stupidity that you think makes your life easier if it goes against how that food should be served.
Yeah.
That's my personal
agree,
thing.
man. And I my people want what they want, and they're not willing to see the other side of it. But there's this very contentious story. We've talked about it on this show before, where this guy, it was Kansas or Kentucky, this couple wanted the food to go. They are lawyers. They've been working late, and he goes, "No, I don't make my food to go." They're like, "I don't understand." He goes, "Look, I make food with a certain integrity to it. And that integrity is compromised once you put it in a box and the steam and this and that." And a couple of moron lawyers who know nothing about food would appreciate that in no way whatsoever.
Right.
But if you understand food, you understand, like, how many times we get, like, something like Indian food, and you get these pakoras that are nice and crispy once they're you're fried out of the oven, and then you cover them, and they become dumplings.
Yeah.
There's nothing crispy left about them. Some restaurants are like, I'll take the $8.95. I don't care. But someone who values their food and what they're doing so much, I mean, it's amazing. So I feel like this is what the restaurant should do. This is not what we do. Cut it yourself.
Yeah, cut it.
your
Yeah, exactly.
goddamn
You want to
self.
cut a circle. You
Yeah.
want to cut a starfish shape in the middle of your pizza. Be my guest, but don't ask my chef to use his pizza cutter to carve a circle.
Sure.
inside the pizza.
There's no shame anymore. This
No,
is the problem.
there isn't.
I order, so there's sometimes there's a place called the Jerk King.
Yes.
The Kings. They're great.
Yeah.
It's food I've had both sober and with a buzz on. Great all the time.
For people who don't know, jerk is a Jamaican style of cuisine, right? Like chicken cooking.
Sure,
yeah,
sure.
So, okay,
Although
so-
I don't have the jerk, I have the curry goat typically.
fair
there.
enough. Okay, but you're gonna get island cuisine
Island
at a
cuisine.
place called Jerk King,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
This is a Jamaican spot, fast food, effectively.
Yeah.
4 spaces to sit,
Sure.
maybe. But what happens is they are very generous,
Love it.
which is amazing.
Yes.
However,
Uh-oh.
you take that container and you go home and the food has crept out of the container
Right.
into the bag
Yep.
and now so it gets a little messy. So I always ask for this, and I always say it like, I'm so sorry to be doing this to you. I need a small portion, but in a medium container, please. Because I say I'm gonna eat it in the car. I would never eat that food in the
Right.
car. Those stains are not coming out of my seat if I
Sure.
drop it. But I go, I'm gonna eat it in the car, and it's just gonna be a bit of a ordeal. But I have to eat it on the drive. I have a long drive ahead of me. I don't. I have a 20-minute drive.
Right.
I gotta make up a whole. What I'm saying is, I feel guilty about just small in a medium,
Right.
and even that stuns them a little bit. They're like, oh, okay. And then I have to add a few levels. That's not a huge deal.
Right.
But I feel bad about that.
Sure.
This woman is so shameless.
Yeah.
To be like, cut it like this
Yeah.
and then cut it like that. No, do it yourself.
Yeah.
You're an animal.
Yeah. It was crazy, and I agree with your point from before. Some food items should not be takeout. And there are takeout restaurants that do takeout really well, but there's other, like even in our restaurant, which is a casual dining spot, people will ask for things on the menu for takeout that shouldn't be takeout items, like the Angus steak with cauliflower and fingerling potatoes and puree. It's like, when we put that in a box, it's going to look like hell. Our boxes aren't big. Like, we're not a takeout restaurant.
Right.
So we're I haven't finished my meal. Can you box this
Sure.
kind of restaurant,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So the
yeah.
boxes are reflective of that.
Totally.
And when you ask for takeout and it comes in that box, God help you, like what it's gonna look like.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll taste fine, but there's something
But
about
also, what happens is sometimes then what you get is, hey, what do you think of this restaurant? Yeah, I've eaten there before. It's not great.
Yeah.
It's not great because you had it in a way that it wasn't meant to be eaten.
Mm-hmm.
And for a restaurant owner or manager to think ahead that way, I love it.
Yeah.
Places that have a menu and then they have a takeout menu, I have so much respect for that. That you gave it that thought. You weren't just like, we'll just make the money.
Right.
Make the money now. That's all that matters. You have enough respect for your food that you're like, some things are good for takeout
Yep.
and some things won't be on the
When you
takeout
were a
menu.
manager of the restaurant, were there any requests that people made that you were like, no, we just can't do that? Because I know as a waiter,
No.
sometimes I just say no. I'm just like, no. That
Yeah.
just, it doesn't make sense to me. It's going to look like hell.
There
And
was
for me to
never-
ask the chef to do that
Yeah.
is going to cause so much heartache for me that I then have to come back to you to say no. I know he or she's not going to do it.
Right. No, as the manager, I was kind of removed from that. The
Okay.
waiters would have handled that
Sure.
a little bit more. But I do remember, like, some people. This is out of this space here.
Sure.
But, like, there's a hair in my soup.
I see.
And then one of the waiters was like, "Yeah, those people, they come here once a year and they do this. These are people who come here for free meals." And I remember that whole thing. That's just in the space of shamelessness.
Right.
They bring their own hair to place
Man.
into a soup.
I can't even think of that. Like, it just,
We went to the kitchen with the soup, and the chef was like, "That's nobody's hair from here. Look at our hair. Look how long that hair is." I was like, "Damn it. Why was I so like, I'm so sorry. I'm
Right,
so,
right,
you
right.
you feel so bad
Sure.
about being, I don't know. I feel like the time for, I've said this before.
Yeah.
This is Freddie Morin from Joe Beef in Montreal who said this. If I believe that the customer is right all the time, I should have been a masseur or a masseuse.
right.
Right? I should have been in the massaging business.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's not what I'm doing. I'm creating something. If you like it, great. If you don't, you have options. And that's
Yeah.
what it always boils down to. Like, man, this is the same thing with this TV show offended me. Change the channel.
Change the
man.
channel.
You're not that important.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Or, like, for example, I love restaurants that are like, Teroni does this or did this, where it was like, we're not going to change the makeup of the pizzas that we have or the dishes we have. We're not going to substitute anything. We're not going to take things out. If you can't have it, pick something else. There's plenty of stuff on the
Sure.
menu. And it's like, yeah, I kind of love that.
I love
And there's
it too.
pizzas that I look at that I'm like, I'd love to try that, but I don't like that ingredient, so I'm not going to get it. And there's this mysterious element of like, do I try it? Do I not?
Yeah.
Is it forbidden for me because I can't have it and it makes it more attractive?
Yeah.
There's something about that integrity for me that I love. In particular, when you go to a restaurant where you're not familiar with the cuisine, it especially angers me when you want to make alterations.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm not familiar with that ethnicity's cuisine, so I shouldn't impart what I believe should be done to that cuisine
Right.
because my palate says I can't have or I don't want or I don't like this.
Of course.
Right?
That said, it's not a crime to have a little lemon on the side with something. Or
That's
can I
different
have
though.
Some salt. on
That's
the
different.
side?
But if I ask you to omit or restructure a dish,
Yeah.
or put two items that I think go well together that don't
Yeah.
in a dish,
then you shouldn't be having that
you
dish.
shouldn't be having that
quite
dish.
Simply, yeah.
Go to a place that you always go, get your mac and cheese and your glass of milk, and be done with it.
Agree. That was very personal.
I'm horrible. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm very, as a waiter, I will judge your order.
And we say this kind of jokingly, but not working with the public like you do as a waiter.
Yeah.
The worst part of the job is the public.
Yeah. It's the best of times. It's the worst of times.
Constantly.
I had a person I served, delightful gentleman with his wife, and they asked for religious reasons they couldn't have certain things in the food. So no pork, blah blah blah. Could you check?
So you said change your goddamn religion or get
And,
the hell
and he-
out of
no,
here.
I didn't.
No,
I said that's where I will make that I will ask the chef. I will see what we can do, and I will go out of my way because they're not asking for a silly substitution. They're asking because they can't have this item, right? And I was able to do it for them. I was able to do it without affecting the integrity of the dish. So, for example, they had a chicken dish and they didn't want the pancetta in it, right? Because it's
Yeah,
pork. So it's like
okay.
no problem, out, right? Then there was a dessert dish that has marshmallow in it, and because marshmallow is sometimes made with gelatin.
Yeah.
They said, "Oh, that might have." I said, "Let me check because we make it in house," and we did not make it with gelatin, so they were able to have it. They were so happy, and they gave me 100% tip.
100%.
They
Okay,
doubled.
This guy knows what he's
yeah,
doing.
he knows
Okay.
it. And like you guys can come back anytime. I will serve just your table and no one else.
Okay.
So that's where I stand with that.
Okay.
So I will make the exception for little concessions like that. Religious reasons, or if you have an allergy and I can't have this, fine. But don't affect the integrity of the dish because you like to have it creamy. Can you make that with cream? No, that's not how it's made.
Good
That's
for
where
you.
I stand. That's where I stand. Yes.
To wrap us up today.
Okay.
Restaurant recommendation.
Oh.
Not a segue from religious, because
Sure.
this is a secular institution. The Aga Khan Museum in Toronto is a beautiful museum. Year round, they have incredible exhibits all the time. Right now, there's an exhibit called The Moon. That is a wonderful. Next year, I'll be doing a solo show in there, and they were telling me that it's this. Oh man, the name is escaping me, but it's this carpet exhibit.
Oh, wow.
40 different carpets from around the world, modern and ancient carpet techniques, carpet materials,
Amazing.
and yeah, just showcasing heritage and technique and culture. Anyway, in the Aga Khan Museum, there is a restaurant called Divan. Mark McEwen is a well-known Toronto
Yes.
chef. He was executive chef of this place. So you go there thinking, does Mark McEwen know anything
Yeah,
about
does he?
lamb biryani?
Does he?
I don't know if he does.
Right.
But he definitely associated himself with somebody who does.
Right.
I had this incredible... I was feeling great for hours after this
Wow.
meal. It was Summerlicious, which is a 3-course prefix thing that happens at certain restaurants in Toronto every summer. There's Summerlicious, there's Winterlicious.
Winterlicious, yeah.
Anyway, Summerlicious doesn't work for me. As you know, I don't have much of a sweet tooth, but the menu had this delicious avocado, grapefruit, and frisee salad with a harissa vinaigrette. So a slightly spicy vinaigrette.
Right.
Never had that. Great start. And then the second thing I had was a lamb biryani with a raita and a coconut and mint chili chutney. And it was so good.
Wow.
I'm still thinking about that. So I recommend the restaurant Divan to anybody.
But what was your third course?
It was this butterscotch ice cream. I
Yum.
got it. It was delicious. I had 2 spoons and I
Oh,
pushed it away
man.
from me. I know. What
Hey,
are you
listen,
gonna
it
do?
is what it is.
It is what it is. My dining partner found out a week ago he's diabetic.
Oh, man.
So couldn't even get any help on the ice cream. He asked for a bowl of berries.
Okay. Wow.
Okay,
Can you not get 2 apps instead of a dessert?
I didn't ask. Now I'm being that guy, right? Can I have
Right,
2?
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what? Let it come.
You'll just deal with it.
I'll just
the
deal
way
with
the way that the chef planned out the dish,
Yeah.
or the menu.
I did order more chutney though.
Oh, you did.
Well, I wanted it.
Well,
It was so
listen.
good, but they charge you $3, and I go, okay, fine. I'll do
Rightly
it.
so.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, just to touch on that point. If you want something added or changes made to your dish, and they say there's going to be additional charge, you just got to deal with that.
And I preface it right from the beginning. Can I also have this, whatever you charge for
Yeah.
that?
Can I get a side of cauliflower? You can't ask for a side of whatever and not expect to get charged
Yeah.
for it. That's how
Hey,
I feel.
everything costs
Yeah.
money.
Fascinating, because you don't expect to go to a museum and have a great meal, because so often it's like, oh, it's just a little cafeteria.
Yeah.
But the AGO in Toronto, the Art Gallery of Toronto, has Frank. Have you ever?
Yes, I haven't. I've
It's
heard great
great.
things.
It's great. They do a great brunch. It's great.
Yeah. They also have I think they have 5 to 7 specials on certain days.
Yes.
Happy hour specials.
They do.
I don't know
They
if they
do.
call it happy hour, but yeah. Yeah, no, I've been meaning to go.
Yeah, so it's pretty interesting that our city has great museums that have great restaurants.
And it makes
associated with
sense. You should have additional draws to your museum, right? You're like, let's go to the museum, and
Yes.
then let's also you're at the museum and now we're stuck. We don't have any dining options.
Yeah.
Where should we go
Let's
nearby?
have chicken fingers in the cafeteria.
No, exactly.
Yeah, no.
Have it all in house. Winnipeg's the same thing. One of the museums in Winnipeg has this great place called Stella's. They have like 4 different locations, but one of the museums has Stella's in it, and it's an incredible breakfast
That's
place.
so great.
Yeah.
That's why I love certain airports that have good restaurants in it, where it's like sometimes you go and it's just the same old Wendy's and whatever New York fries, and you're like stuck
Yeah.
with that food. And then some airports will have really great restaurants where you can just get a nice meal that will cost you the same.
I don't want to get into it because it'll take our mini into
All
a
right.
maxi. But the next episode let's talk about airports and food.
Okay.
Yeah?
All right. Let's
All
not
right.
forget that. All right.
All
I'm
right.
going to put the onus on you.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
All right, man.
Well, that's our mini episode. I hope you enjoyed it.
Tune in again next week. We will be making drinks and food. Maybe Marco will be off blood thinners. Maybe not. Either way, I'm drinking. I'm drinking at 10 in the morning, and I'm not doing that because I want to. I'm doing that for you,
Yeah,
dear
it's a
listeners.
sacrifice.
Yeah. Until we eat and drink again. We'll see you soon.
That was Eat and Drink, the mini episode with Ali Hassan and Marco Timpano. If you have a topic, cocktail, food item, or segment for what's in Marco's mouth, email us at podcasteatdrink@gmail.com. Again, that's podcasteatdrink@gmail.com. Look for the mini episode on the 1st and 15th of every month. Until the next one, forks up.